Hey everybody, DeLong Chat Signatures here. This is episode 45 of my 2024 TTM returns. We are starting off the week with 7 successes. We do have a failure to start off with. This one was kind of expected to go this way, but I said, hey, heck, I haven't tried them before, so, it's at least worth a shot. Maybe we'll see if we can get a different result. The answer is no. Sent to longtime MLB announcer and Ford C. Frick Award winner Bob Uecker of the Milwaukee Brewers, and got back the standard. He is not signing this year. Note, he seemed to be a pretty decent TTM signer several years ago, and I wish I had been a little bit more into baseball at the time and would have thought about sending to him. But it is what it is. I highly doubt at this point that he's going to restart signing through the mail. He's getting up there, and I understand his decision not to do it anymore. But, we'll see. Maybe there's another way I can get his autograph at some point. We did get a potential Ford C. Frick Award winner and former MLB player with this return. This is a 1 of 2 success in 21 days from Dave Campbell. He returned the other photo unsigned. It may not have been of him, but from everything I could find, it looked like it was. So it is what it is. But he played, I think, for like the Tigers or something back in the day. Several teams. Yeah, Tigers, Padres, Astros, and the Cardinals. And then was a longtime MLB announcer. I think he also lent his voice into some of the MLB video games at one point. He was a finalist in 2021 for the Ford C. Frick Award. So, if you're a finalist once, you have a shot at, receiving that nomination again. So we'll see if he ends up ever getting that award or not, but still a nice return to get. Then we have a softball coach return. This is a 2 of 2 success coming back in 21 days from softball coach for South Carolina, Beverly Smith. She has held the job since 2011, has had a really good record with the team. I want to say, I don't remember if they're in the ACC or the SEC for softball. I want to say they're in the SEC, but I could be completely wrong about that. But they've had to face a ton of really tough competition just to even make the tournament, while she has a positive winning record. I don't know. I think she gets into the tournament most years, but hasn't been able to get any farther than like regionals and stuff. But a very successful coach. They've obviously held on to her this long and believe in her, and I think they have another winning record season so far this year. Still a lot of season left to be played, but so far so good for them. Haven't sent out to too many softball or college coaches this year, or baseball college coaches this year. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time in order to get in too many before the season ends, but the few that I have sent out, so far so good. Then we have some racing returns to share. First one is a 4 of 4 success in 32 days on some trading cards. This is NASCAR driver Kaz Gralla. Been watching him ever since he was in the Truck Series. I want to say the year that I got him, he won the Daytona race for the Truck Series that year. Always gives a really small signature, but a great signer. He's bounced around through several different teams. I couldn't even tell you who he races for now. It's kind of hard to tell whether he's a part-time or a full-time, but he seems to be, racing somewhere in the NASCAR series, whether it's the Cup or the Xfinity, sometimes Truck even, on most weekends. So nice return there. Next one is a former driver and current owner / crew chief. This is a 2 of 2 success in 14 days from Mario Goslin. So he is the owner of DGM, I want to say Enterprises, but I could be wrong. It might just be DGM Racing. But he used to race himself for a number of years. Had some wins in the ARCA series, had some decent results in the truck series, and then I think he last raced in like 2021, or I think he qualified in 2021 but didn't end up making that race that he qualified in. But he has served as crew chief for his own team while also being an Xfinity Series owner. So cool to get a guy who is basically, a lifer at this point and has done a little bit of everything. So that was cool to get. Then we have another potential future Hall of Famer here. I've gotten a number of signatures from this guy. He's a pretty strict one per anymore, and he doesn't sign trading cards. If you've put all of that together, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But this is a one signed hero card return in 28 days from Cup Series driver Martin Truex Jr. Like I've said, this guy has a really impressive NASCAR resume. Started off really good early in his career. I think he won 1 or 2 Xfinity Series championships, went to the Cup Series, and then kind of during his prime years, he didn't, he had a couple wins here and there and, some decent years, but nothing like spectacular. And it wasn't until later in his career that he had a complete resurgence and became one of the most dominant drivers for a stretch there, especially after the stage racing was introduced into NASCAR. I think he still holds the record for most stage wins. And I want to say at some point this year he was the points leader. I don't know if that's still the case, but he's definitely been having himself a really good year. So we'll see if he can win again. I think he had a shot a few weeks ago, maybe at Martinsville or something like that. But very, very talented driver, Cup Series champion, lower series, Busch Series champion, bunch of wins, over 10,000 laps led in the Cup Series. It's all coming together to look like a Hall of Fame career. It's just going to be a matter of when at this point, and when he decides to retire, because there have been speculations about him leaving Joe Gibbs Racing, retiring, and he keeps coming back for more, and he's showing he still has quite a bit left in the tank. So we go from future Hall of Famer to 2 big-name Hall of Famers for their respective sports. First one is a 2 of 2 success in 14 days from PBA bowler, Hall of Famer, and 40-time or 40-event winner Norm Duke. I want to say he still competes on like the PBA 50, PBA 62, or whichever one he's on now. But he had 40 PBA Tour wins, which makes him only one of 3 to achieve that feat. Finalist a bunch of times. I think he had like 6 or 7 major wins. So it's kind of like golf majors and everything like that. Grand Slams for tennis. And so just a very, very accomplished guy. One of the more recognizable names, I want to say he has like an Allen and Ginter card maybe. And definitely a more recognizable look and everything. But a fantastic TTM signer. A whole bunch of people have gotten him before. If you haven't sent to him, I would highly recommend it. So very glad to add him to the new bowling collection. And the last one is just an awesome one for the hockey collection. Never thought I'd be able to get this guy. But this is a 2 of 2 success in 49 days via the Edmonton Oilers. One of the best defensemen of all time, Mr. Paul Coffey. So he did sign in pen, but it does look very similar to how he shapes his standard autographs. But I saw several successes via the Edmonton Oilers, which made me very nervous. Not because the Oilers are a bad signing team, but because I have the worst luck with sending to the Oilers. Ever since I've started collecting, I think at the early stages of collecting active NHL players, it wasn't too bad. But in later years, I would see other people get back, guys like Mikko Koskinen and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I'm like, oh, I need to send to the Oilers for that. And it's either nothing comes back or it's a return to sender, and it doesn't seem like their address has changed in forever. So not sure what's going on there. But I said, hey, several people have gotten them back through this address. I'm just going to try it. And for, the second all-time leading scorer defenseman-wise in the NHL, it's worth a shot. and very much was. Only sent 2 cards because 1, I was still unsure whether he would sign, and 2, it seems like that's kind of the limit for him. I don't know if he's a 1 mailing per lifetime or what, but maybe sometime down the road, if he still signs through that address, we'll have to try and get him on some other cards. But Coffee, immensely talented defenseman for those who don't know. Like I said, second highest scoring defenseman in NHL history, only behind Bobby Orr. 3-time Norris Trophy winner for best defenseman. 8-time All-Star, which in that case is equivalent to like an All-Pro in the NFL. 4-time Stanley Cup champion, and over 1,500 points, over 1,000 assists, and almost 400 goals as a defenseman. Just super, super impressive. And the 3 Norris trophies just show how good he was defensively as well. So very, very happy to finally add him to the collection. But that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.